Back to Godhead. Prabhupada leading men of the world join together to fight the danger of a godless civilization. Back to Godhead Volume 03 p. 20, 1960. Dr. Y. G. Naik, MSc, Ph.D., Principal and Professor of Physics, Dean, Faculty of Science, Gujarat University, agrees to join this noble mission. Some of the letters exchanged between the professor and the Swamiji are published herewith to draw the attention of the people in general, philosophers and leading men of the society to the importance of the mission. The League of Devotees Rig. Dear Swamiji, I am grateful to you for your kind letter. Your learned exposition of the problems of para, Devanagari, and apara prakriti, Devanagari, has impressed me. I appreciate your mission and would be very happy to profit by it. Please do send me the prospectus of the League of Devotees. I have a number of friends who are also interested in this mission of yours. With kind regards, yours sincerely St/Y. G. Naik, Gujarat College, Ahmedabad. Dear Dr. Naik, your letter dated 20th of March 1960, Vidi Appreciations, redirected from my HD. QRS. Vrindaban, is duly in hand and I am very much encouraged to go through the contents which are full of valuable informations. The subject matter discussed in my article under reference is authorized as far as it refers to the conclusion of Gita. I may also inform you that my concept of antimatter is exactly what you call it, anti-material. Technically it may be that I could not express the exact word used by the physicist, but I have tried to explain the word antimatter in the light and sense of what you say as anti-material, which is spirit. But spirit is not, Devanagari, apar, as you have pointed out. In the Bhagavad Gita, the supreme truth or the absolute personality of Godhead is the transcendental, Devanagari, Purula, and the two energies, namely, Devanagari, Par and Devanagari, Apar, are emanations from him. The Devanagari, Apar, or the inferior material energy, may consist of many other elements like matter, antimatter, proton, electron, neutron, etc. in terms of physical science, but according to the authority of the Bhagavad Gita all of them are produced of the inferior energy called by the name, Devanagari, Apar Prakriti. The Devanagari, Apar Prakriti consists of gross and subtle matters like mind, ego and intelligence. Spirit is transcendental to all these. The spiritual energy, Devanagari, Parsakti, is simultaneously one and different from the spirit whole. Qualitatively they are one, but quantitatively they are different. The Braham Ray is the effulgence of the Supreme Person. You have defined impersonal Braham as the divine energy. I fully agree with you in pursuance of its description in the Brahma Samhita. I am just going to publish in the next issue an article of the name Variety of Planetary System, in which there is reference from the Brahma Samhita. According to the Bhagavad Puranam, the supreme truth is realized in three stages, namely the impersonal Braham or the Nirakar Absolute, the Paramatma or the localized aspect of Braham. The neutron part of the atom may be taken as the representation of Paramatma, who enters into the atom also. It is described in the Brahma Samhita, but ultimately the Supreme Divine Being is realized as the Supreme Person, all attractive, Krishna, with full and inconceivable potencies of opulence, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge and renunciation. The six potencies were fully exhibited by Sri Rama and Sri Krishna when he descends before the human being. Only a section of the human being who are unalloyed devotees could recognize him on the authority of revealed scriptures, but others are bewildered under the influence of material energy. The absolute truth is therefore the absolute person without an equal or high competitor personality. Impersonal Braham rays are the rays of his body, transcendental as much as the sun rays are emanations from the sun planet. According to the Vishnu Puranam, the material energy is called Devanagari, avatar or nescience, which is exhibited in the fruit of activities of sense enjoyment. But the living beings belong to the group of anti-material energy or spiritual energy, while he has the tendency of being illusion and trapped by the material energy for sense enjoyment. In this sense the living being is the positive energy, whereas the matter is the negative energy. The matter does not develop without being in contact with the superior spiritual or anti-material energy, which is directly part and parcel of the spirit whole. Anyway, the subject matter of this spiritual energy exhibited by the living being is undoubtedly very complicated thing for an ordinary man. The ordinary man is therefore astounded in the subject. Sometimes he partially understands it through the imperfect senses, and sometimes he fails to know it altogether. The best thing is therefore to hear the grave subject matter from the highest authority, Sri Krishna or his devotee representative coming down in the chain of disciplic succession. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Upanishads and Vedanta. I am glad to note that you have got the highest estimation for Gita. I am just trying to present the conclusion of Gita to the world as it is, and without any imperfect compromise with speculative interpretations. We have to learn the lessons of Gita from the authorized disciplic succession as it is advised there in the book, 4th ch. Unfortunately, everyone not in that line tries to explain Gita in his own way, and this process misguided the people. We have to counteract this disruptive tendency and put them at right. I shall be very glad if you join my mission, the League of Devotees, and on receipt of your favorable reply I shall send you the prospectus. An erudite scholar like you should join and help in this noble attempt. Your appreciation of India's cultural heritage is very much enlivening for me. Let us jointly distribute this great cultural heritage to the world at large in an organized manner and through the recommended process of divine love propagated by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please try to help me as far as possible. Awaiting your reply with interest. Hope you are well. Yours sincerely, SD/AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Camp, Delhi, dated 28th of March, 1960. The Radha Krishna Temple, 2439, Chhipiwada Kalan, Delhi 6, dated 26th of April 1960. My dear Dr. Naik, I thank you for your letter of the 18th instant in which you have expressed your desire to join me in my spiritual mission, the League of Devotees. My special mission is to form an association of spiritual values with educated persons like you. Because in the Bhagavad Gita it is said that people in general follow the example set by the leading men. At the present moment the leading men of the society are more or less unbelievers in the very existence of God. Naturally the general public is also gradually following them. The result is that a class of men who are carried away by religious sentiments without scientific stand, are misusing the importance of spiritual values within the boundary of formalities and formulas of social or communal usages. We shall have to reform this exploitation of religious sentiments on one side and gross atheism on the other. And the whole solution of this problem is clearly defined in the Bhagavad Gita. So what we need to do is to propagate the great teachings of the Gita, as you have also realized, in a very systematic order on the basis of scientific and philosophical understanding acceptable by the topmost reasoning power of man in a submissive mood. That is the mood of understanding mentioned in the Gita. With these ideas only I had to register the form of the League of Devotees under the Registration of Societies Act 1860 some years back at Jhansi, UP, with the help of some medical students of the place. In the Western countries, especially in America, you know it well, there is one movement like MRA, moral rearmament. They want that men must choose to be governed by God or they condemn themselves to be ruled by tyrants, that God's mind must control the world through human nature, etc. Unfortunately the Western people are so trained up that it is very difficult for them to discover God's will as they want. The God's mind is however expressed very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the sum total of the Upanishads and Vedanta Sutara. Therefore if we push on the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita in a systematic way, it is sure and certain that the world will accept it. The cult of communism is a reactionary movement of a godless civilization. The Bhagavad Gita by her own strength can make an adjustment of the contending elements represented by theism and atheism. The movement of the communists advocating that man's mind must control is an imperfect theory. Because man is imperfect and his mind is also imperfect, he cannot be perfect without being in intimate relation with God who is perfectly perfect or Purnatama. So we have to make a perfect movement on the basis of the Bhagavad Gita spoken by the perfect. There is no difference between God and the Bhagavad Gita on account of their being identical on the perfect or absolute stage. This will help us in the matter of man being cured of his diseased condition of the mind. The activities of the mind are not to be negative, neither such activities can be stopped. Only the disease of the mind has to be cured. The madman is not to be killed, but he is to be cured by proper treatment. The mind and the senses of the man are to be cured only by the treatment of devotional service of the Lord. By that process only normal condition of the pure mind can be attained, when all natural good qualities of the mind will be revealed. At this stage only we shall be able to see God in everything and everything in God. The old prospectus as I printed it in other papers are dispatched by separate book post, which please find. Please read them carefully and let me know how we can join and work together. As soon as there is an organization, I think many good friends will join us in this noble movement for real benefit of the mankind. Hope you are well. Awaiting your early reply at my above address. Yours sincerely, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami.